Friends, how's everybody doing today? Let's just make sure this is working out. I'd like to get right into class tonight, but I want to make sure this works out good. This is my first time doing a live Facebook from my computer so that I can share some slides with you guys. So let's hope that this works. I'd like to just make sure, and you know what? I don't even know how to see comments. Okay, so hopefully I can see stuff going on here. Hey guys, how's it going? Come on in. So the replay for this will be available, if all goes right, afterwards, but come on and hang out with me for a little bit, especially if you've got some questions to ask. I'm going to be sharing some slides. I'm going to be sharing what information I have for you guys, and then after that, so at the very end, I will take questions. I will, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see comments. This is my first time doing a Facebook Live with a PowerPoint presentation. So if y'all would say a prayer for me real quick that it's going to work out. So thanks for joining me tonight. I'm really excited to share this information. I designed this class for one of my groups in the state of Maine. And after I presented it to them, I decided to share it online with everybody. So as we got a favorable response from the content. So what I want to talk about tonight is detoxification, and I want to blow out some of the myths that go along with it. So whatever you think about detoxification, be prepared to just rethink everything. My name is Sarah Jo Poff. I am the one that started Healthy Families for God. I've also got this page, Using the Sense God Gave You. I had gone to school for naturopathy, and what I realized as I was doing it was I didn't want to be the person who helped people, who healed people, or who treated people. I wanted to empower people, and I didn't want to be the one that people said, hey, yeah, she healed me, or she, you know, treated me, or whatever. I wanted to be the one that people said, she empowered me to figure out how to heal myself. And so I actually didn't do the certification licensing with the program, because my goal and my mission is to educate people to become their own experts at their health themselves and to do the same. So what I'm sharing here, feel free to share with others. Feel free to share this video with whoever you want and whoever you think would benefit from it. Feel free to follow my pages for more information on the topic, as I'll keep sharing anything else that comes up or any questions that you guys might have. So let me just get right into it today. We'll see if the sharing works. So what I'm going to do really quick is figure out where that sharing button is. Did I screw that up? I think I did. I think I was supposed to share it from the very beginning. So hopefully I didn't just screw it up. I think I might have. I think I did. Darn it. So I might have to start over again. This is the intro. We'll just call it that. How about that? Let's see here. Wow, you guys, I think I screwed this up. So I'm going to have to hop on a different video, I think, in order to share my screen. So there's the basic of it. Come and check back. I'll do another video here really quick, I think, because I'm just learning how to do this. Normally I do them on Zoom, and people are like, you know, it's just hard. I don't understand the whole Zoom thing. So I thought I'd make it easier for you guys. It's a little harder for me just from what I know, but I'm learning. So come on back into the group. I'm going to end this one, start a new one, and I'll have my slides for you guys. Sometimes some people just do better with pictures and things like that. And so you'll hear me talking, but not necessarily see me, but you'll see the slides. So I will come back with that in just a minute. See you in a minute. All right, guys, here we go. Sorry about that. So we just did an intro where I discovered that I can't actually share the screen if I hadn't started out that way. So here you go. We are starting over. I hope you guys can come in and find this next video. It will be available on replay too. So this video can be checked out anytime afterwards. Sorry about that, you guys. So here we have what I want to show you guys for tonight. Some of this information is kind of necessary to see, so I wanted to make sure you guys could see it on a PowerPoint presentation. tonight we're going to be talking the basics of detoxification. And so in the intro video, I explained that despite training in naturopathy, I wanted to make sure that I empower and educate people more than I treat people. So my mission here is to educate you guys to take care of your health and share that information with others and help them do the same. So one of the things that you're going to learn tonight and that we're going to talk about tonight is that I am not here to share with you guys about cleansing. So first, I want to make the crucial difference between detoxification and cleansing. Sometimes people use these terms interchangeably, and to be fair, there's no right or wrong way to describe them necessarily, but for tonight's class, I want to make sure that we distinguish between detoxification and cleansing. So for tonight's class, I'm going to simply be talking about the body's natural process of breaking down and eliminating toxins. This is something our body is doing as I speak, as you watch this video. Our body is always detoxifying. The reason I want to clarify the difference is because when people hear detox, they immediately have all of these things that come to mind, and they say, oh, you shouldn't do that when you're pregnant. Oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. But our body is detoxifying every single minute of every single day. It's doing it whether we realize it or not. It's doing it whether we're trying or not. Some of the concerns that come with it are really more about when we're talking about cleansing. And cleansing is more of a forced process to increase detoxification, and that is not what I'm going to be talking about tonight. For this presentation, I'm specifically discussing detoxification. So if you are interested in cleansing information, my favorite resource, my all-time favorite resource, which I will put in the comments, is a book called Inner Transformations by Drs. Deirdre. And if you are interested in cleansing information, the best cleansing protocols and things like that, that is the book for you to check out. So that's in the comments. You can check that out. One of the things that we are going to be talking about when we talk about detoxification is really just supporting our body's natural detoxification process. So I know that some of us get overwhelmed when we hear the word detox or cleanse, and the reason that I'm covering detoxification is because my goal is to say, hold on, let's pause on the cleansing and let's make sure that we're supporting our body's natural detoxification process that's happening every day. Let's make sure that that process is working and working well every single day before we start getting into these cleanses and things like that. So let's talk about really quick about why detoxification is important. We are exposed to things every day that we do not want in our bodies. Some of it we can control and some of it we can't. Toxic chemicals in umbilical cords that were found in umbilical cord blood included pesticides, flame retardants, which are found on things like furniture, mattresses, and clothing. You know, those little like cute footsie pajamas, those usually have flame retardants in them. So you can see how easy it is for kids to get exposed to this kind of stuff. And for us, and when we're pregnant, it gets absorbed into our bloodstream and passes through the umbilical cord to the baby. Some other toxins found in umbilical cord blood include Teflon, which would be that icky toxic cookware that we need to avoid, and dioxins, which is a byproduct of chlorine. So this is any chlorinated products. This could include menstrual pads, diapers, tap water, a lot of things like that. Some other chemicals and toxins found in umbilical cord blood included mercury and lead. 93% of Americans over age 6 have BPA in their urine, and we know that BPA was phased out. It doesn't necessarily mean that the new things that are being used are any less harmful, but we can see that even though it's been phased out for years, that it is very persistent in our environment still. So that's obviously a good example of something that we may not have very much control over anymore, but just a good reason why we need to make sure we're supporting our body's everyday detoxification process. BPA acts as a hormone disruptor, increasing the risk of hormone cancers, polycystic ovarian syndrome, infertility, early puberty, and poor child behavior and cognition because of its effects on the brain. So we can see how important it is to help make sure our body is detoxifying the things that it's exposed to. And the important thing to note here is that I am speaking from a belief in a creator, in our God, who's created our bodies, and he's created us in a way that has systems in place to help our bodies do that. And so my intention for tonight's class is to teach you how to support those God-given mechanisms in our body to do exactly that. Even with a healthy lifestyle, we're breathing in harmful things and living with years of toxicity. Look at it, even if you have your home really clean, which I hope you do, because the toxic burden on our bodies and the amount of detoxification that our body is required to do is going to be so much heavier if our home is filled with toxins and fragrances and all of those kind of chemicals. So once we have eliminated those, detoxification is going to be something that our body can do so much better and keep us so much healthier. But even so, we can go out in public places and there's air fresheners, there's toxic hand soaps in public, which, by the way, I will never use. I have other things for that. The chemicals in the air outside, formaldehyde and flame retardants in furniture, chemicals in plastic, even BPA on store receipts. Sometimes we can't avoid those things. And so this is just verification that we really need to be supporting our body's everyday detoxification process. Detoxification requires nutrition, nutrients. Our bodies need nutrients to do that. And it's estimated that only 3 to 12% of Americans get enough nutrition to support their body's healthy detoxification process. So just another reason why. Over 42 million people in the United States have frequent constipation, making it one of the most common gastrointestinal problems in the US. And we are going to be talking in a couple of slides up why that is so important to make sure we are addressing in order to support our body's detoxification process. It is absolutely essential for our bodies to be able to detoxify and eliminate the things that it comes into contact with every day. So our job is, number one, to support a healthy home, to have a healthy home free of toxins so that the toxic load on our body isn't so heavy. And then number two, to support our body's everyday detoxification process. Yes, Sarah, I actually bring my Thieves hand sanitizer with me everywhere I go, and I use that instead of the toxic hand soap in public places. So if we think about the natural processes that our bodies were created to do to help us detoxify, we can see that there's really a lot of incredible things going on in our body, and there's some things we can do to support that. So look at those natural processes. Just for an example, our eyelids make our eyes close, they make our eyes water to eliminate foreign substances. That is detoxification in a way. Our lungs are coughing when it needs to eliminate particles, toxins, and things that should not be in the lungs. That's why people, when they take cough suppressants, they tend to get a lung infection because their lungs need to cough those things out so that it doesn't get infected or get worse. Our urine and our bowels are eliminating toxins every day, hopefully, but there's some ways that we can see if it is or not and support those systems, which we'll talk about. So that's just some reasons why it's important. Now, really quick, before we go into some of the detoxification stuff, I want to share with you guys it's like the Chinese body clock. And I find this very helpful because sometimes our bodies are doing something that's trying to get our attention at exact times every single day. And so when we look at this chart, we can see that there might be a part of our body that's overloaded and trying to send us a message that it needs some detoxification support. So if you look at the times, a lot of people wake up between 1 and 3 a.m. in the morning, and that means that their liver is overloaded and needs some support and detoxification. What that tells us is that, you know, we just need to listen to that part of our body. So you can look up Chinese body clock online and find lots of different charts that look different, but they are all the same as far as the time. And one of the other things to consider when you're looking at the Chinese body clock is that sometimes the correlating or the corresponding thing on the opposite side of the time also might be an issue for you at that time. And so they're usually connected. So if you look at 1 to 3 a.m. when people tend to wake up a lot, especially women a lot, that could usually mean that their liver needs some support and detox, but also their small intestine, if you look at the corresponding one across the chart from it too. So, you know, just keep that in the back of your mind when you're thinking about what your body is trying to tell you and what it needs, or maybe what areas it needs a little bit extra support in. And if you go to the book that I have put in the comments, the cleansing info book, that has some very specific protocols for actual cleanses that you can look at for really supporting those body systems as well. So just something to keep in your knowledge book there. So the first detox pathways are the bowels and the urine. These are the primary detox pathways. A lot of times you'll hear people say, like, I'm doing this, like a foot bath or this kind of thing to detox. And what they're doing is pulling toxins out through their skin. But that is not the ideal way to support our body's healthy detoxification process, because it's ideal that our toxins are coming out through toxins are coming out through our bowels and urine first and foremost. When people have skin issues, any kind of skin rash or any of those kinds of skin issues, that almost always means that their bowels and urine, their primary detox pathway, is overwhelmed with toxins, and it cannot effectively eliminate the toxins that the body is trying to get out. And so it's forced to push them out through other methods like our skin. And so that's important to know anytime there's any skin issues. That's the body saying, hey, we are overloaded with toxins here. We need some help. So we need to support the bowels and the urine. And we will talk about how to do that. One of the things that people say with detoxing when we're breastfeeding is that, you know, it's dangerous to detox. Well, like I said, our bodies are detoxing every single day, number one. Number two, if we are ensuring that toxins are coming out through our bowels and our urine, we're actually going to reduce the toxic load in our breast milk and the things that are coming out through our breast milk, because things are going to come out through a woman's breast milk regardless. But women can support their bowels and urine better to reduce the amount of toxins coming out through their breast milk and to the baby. So the secondary detox pathways, the skin, sweat, and breast milk, are not ideal pathways for the toxins, for most toxins anyway. When the primary detox pathway is overwhelmed, that's when it starts coming out those other ways. So the number one thing we can do for helping our body's everyday detoxification is to ensure that our bowels are moving very, very well. This is at least once a day, and that we're drinking lots of water to support continuous urine flow. Most people are not drinking enough water, and it's something very simple that can be done to support our everyday detoxification process. So coming up, I will be sharing some things that you can do to support your bowels and your urine. One of the things that I found helpful was seeing this picture. Now you know, we live on our homestead. We often raise our own poultry. And so for those who don't like the sound of that, maybe just plug your ears for a minute. But when we raise these animals, we can see all the blood flow, everything connected to the colon. And what you can see from this chart is that when things sit in the colon for too long, now the colon is where we are eliminating toxins. Everything that comes out through the colon is stuff that our body doesn't need and shouldn't have. It's the waste. Every single bit of it is the waste. Our body's done with it, or it's just toxic, and our body's working to eliminate it. When those things sit in our colon for too long, they are absorbed back into our body through the bloodstream. This is absolutely not what we want to happen. And this is actually one of the main causes of hormone imbalance also, because if you look at a chart, and I probably should have put this in the slides, but if you look at a chart of the hormones in a female's cycle throughout the month, you'll see at times where either the estrogen or the progesterone jumps up really high and then it drops off. And when it drops off, what do you think happens to those hormones? They weren't like necessarily used up by the body. The body has to do something with it. So the body's detoxification process works to eliminate those through the liver and the colon. And so when it's coming out, if the bowels are slow, the body's going to reabsorb all of those hormones it was done with. And that's why we have a lot of hormone issues and cancer and things like that related to estrogen dominance or too much estrogen. So there are 101 million more reasons why we want to make sure that our bowels are moving. But suffice it to say that this is why it's so important to make sure that the body is absolutely eliminating things efficiently. So in my house, we keep some things on hand that I will share with you in a few minutes to make sure that if anyone, for any reason, ever has slow bowels, we hit it, and we hit it hard right away. We don't ever want things to be slow in that area. So it's definitely a high priority and something to take very seriously. So in order to move bowels well, a lot of people will say, okay, so, you know, my bowels are slow. How do I do that? Well, obviously, we're going to talk about a healthy diet. If we're not getting enough fibrous foods, we're not getting enough vegetables, or we're getting too many constipating foods, then you can't outdo that. You can't take anything to fix a bad diet. So most people, and nothing's changed since 10 years ago when I first started doing this, most people are not eating enough vegetables. You can take green supplements, which are great for you, but they don't give you the fibers you need to keep things moving through your body. So a healthy diet is first and foremost the best way to support bowels, making sure we lay back on the pasteurized dairy and the sugars and things like that that are slowing things down. Probiotics are absolutely essential to keeping things moving with the bowels. And it needs to be a good probiotic. So there were some consumer report studies done, and there is a very large percent tacos. There was a very, that was a good comment, Natalie, thanks. There was a very interesting study when they found that most of the probiotics do not contain the live or viable organisms that they say that they contain. So just making sure that you're utilizing a really good probiotic when you're looking to support your bowel health or any health at all is very high priority. So there are a lot of different ones that I've found to be, or not a lot, a few very good ones that I've found that my family takes, and I have those on my website. So if you go to my website and you click my resources, you'll find my supplement recommendations, and we'll talk about some of those too. So lots of lettuce with your tacos. How about that, Natalie and Jess? All right, so digestive enzymes are often overlooked, but they're really important as well as probiotics. So most people do not have the enzymes needed to break down their food efficiently, and our liver and our gallbladder, which is supposed to help produce the enzymes that our bodies need to break those foods down, are overwhelmed, and so they can't do that job. So a digestive enzyme supplement, there are some that you take with meals, there are some that you take in between meals, can do wonders for moving things along. And one thing I will say is that sometimes people will say, I've tried these and they're not working. Usually those two things work. And if they're not working, you want to increase and or make sure that you are taking really good ones, good supplements, good brands, and things like that. Sometimes people come to me saying that my doctor recommended Miralax. I hope everybody listening knows how incredibly toxic and dangerous that is, and it's absolutely not necessary for moving bowels. So one of the things that we can do in place of Miralax to really get things moving at first, while we're addressing the underlying reason for things being slow, is magnesium. And you know, normally that. Wow, what a night we're having. Hey guys, anybody there? I'm so sorry. I will probably do this class again in one thing and get it uploaded to YouTube for you guys, because it's been kind of rough. So we're going to just keep making do with it and keep making sure we get the information. We're just like hanging out, learning together, screwing up together. So hopefully you guys will be able to find this and join me for the rest. Hopefully Facebook won't kick me off again. I came on as a different one of my pages because I'm thinking maybe Facebook was just kicking me off for that page, but we'll see. I don't know. So we're going to try it this way. Sorry about that, you guys. Facebook's mad at me. I need to do another paid ad because then they won't discriminate against me. So anyway, all right, let's get this done. Let's get some more information for you guys. And, ooh, thanks, Natalie. That's like a pretty big compliment, especially from you. I mean, you're like the beauty queen. So thank you. Okay, so I'm going to switch. Thanks, you guys, so much. I really appreciate you guys hanging there with me. And so that we can kind of just flip around and see my computer screen too. So whatever, we're just gonna do it. Yeah, because I'm speaking the truth. That's it. I should be used to this right now, huh, Vicky? All right, so we talked about magnesium. We started talking about magnesium. And one of the things that I want to talk about with you guys for magnesium is, you hear me a lot talking about the importance of having a really good quality magnesium. That's to help our bodies get the magnesium it needs, and it needs to soak in, right? It needs to absorb, to utilize. When I'm talking about magnesium for helping the bowels move, like in place of Miralax, I'm talking about a cheap magnesium, like cheap magnesium citrate. Use a cheap one and use a lot of it, and just start dumping it in until things are moving. So when we're looking at giving our bodies magnesium to help fill a deficiency and to help support good health, I'm talking about a good quality magnesium. But for right now, when I'm talking about helping bowels move and not using Miralax or other really toxic things to do that, I'm talking about just a cheap magnesium citrate or other kind of cheap magnesium. Magnesium oxide might not be as great for that. That's another cheap magnesium you'll find. But check out like a magnesium citrate or something. I mean, be a little careful. Don't get something that's got bad stuff in it too. But it's definitely a much safer alternative to get things moving quickly for getting the bowels moving and not using Miralax. Okay, so there's that. So that's where we start off. So we talked about that. We talked about starting with the healthy diet, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and magnesium. That's to support our bowels. Okay, so these are some secondary things, and you might not be able to see these. You guys, I'll put the slides up in our group because we're just rolling flexible style tonight, right? So, oh man, Natalie, I'm glad you know things better now. So this, these are some things that I personally keep on hand. Like I said, if something's moving slow, sometimes we'll be doing something, a cleanse or some changes, and it kind of messes with things, or it slows things up because we're releasing more toxins or something like that. So I keep these on hand. We rarely need them, but these are the secondary things. So like you're saying, magnesium maybe wasn't working great or something. This one I had in my presentation, but this was in such high demand that it's actually not available right now. It's hard to source the ingredients really good the way that this company does it. So these are some of my other favorite products for moving things along. These are from Young Living. ICP is like your fiber supplement. You know, you might see the psyllium husk supplements out there, but it takes that to a whole nother level. It has other things in there. So it's not just the fiber. It's not just the psyllium husk fiber. It's other things that are beneficial for helping really clean things out and scrub the intestines and things like that. So
Comfort Tone is my personal favorite because what I use Comfort Tone for, it's similar to this, but it has some stronger herbs in it like Cascara Sagrada, and that really makes things move fast. So this one is a powder and it's mixed in with liquid and consumed that way. This one is capsules. And so anytime, if I ever have things slow, I just go straight to Comfort Tone and I will just take a couple of those until things are better. And what I like about both of these is they're not just to like get things moving. They really have some incredibly therapeutic ingredients in addition to those things to not just move things along, but to really support the entire intestinal health in really good ways that are hard to find in other products. And then we've got Parafree, and I put that there because sometimes some critters that live in our intestines might be the reason that things are slow or things are messed up a little bit. So sometimes it requires that. And you can find that information in the cleansing book that I talked about. So we won't get into that too much. All right, so remember when we talked about the primary detox pathway being bowels and urine. So we talked about how to make sure the bowels are doing well. And so now we're going to talk about making sure that the urine is doing well. And obviously that's drinking good quality water, and a lot of it. This is really important to make sure we're not consuming tap water from city sources that have chlorine and fluoride in them. So whether you need to get a filter for that or get some spring water instead, or whatever you do. The Comfort Tone, Sarah, is in capsules, and so kids might not be able to swallow that, but if they can, you can use your discretion. I can't exactly remember what is listed on the label as far as usage and ages, and so I'm not at liberty to recommend outside of what's on the label. But I'll just say, use your discretion for that. If things need to move, things need to move, and it's definitely a safer alternative to Miralax. So now we're going to see some other things that pop up on my computer. So, all right. So we talked about making sure our drinking water is a good quality drinking water. We also want to make sure that we are reducing or avoiding refined sugars as much as possible. So this is like cane sugar. Even if it's organic cane sugar, it's going to be having a really negative effect on the body's ability to eliminate urine and detox things that way. So that's a really important thing that we can do for our health in many ways, including this. And then one other thing that I've noted here is citrus vitality oils. And so what that is, for those who aren't familiar with that, and you know what, I don't even have one on hand to show you, but citrus vitality oils are citrus oils that are specifically labeled as a dietary supplement and intended for dietary use. And there are a lot of really awesome studies out there on citrus oils for supporting the liver and kidney health, and just helping keep the urine process healthy and detoxing all the time. And there's some other things that we'll talk about too really quick as far as their effect on the body's detoxification process. But just making sure that we understand the truth about citrus oils, citrus vitality. Those are labeled for internal use. They're actually used in foods a lot. And actually foods, so soda companies and tea companies are the largest buyers of dietary citrus essential oils because they're used as natural flavoring. And so that's one thing that's actually a little bit beneficial in the food world. But if you have some concerns about that, I have an article on my website about ingesting oils. There's a lot of really awesome research on their effect on our digestive system and our liver and things like that. So that's just something really simple we can do. I have 4 drops of a citrus oil in each of the things of water that I drink every single day, and it's been really great. So one other thing you can do to support the body's natural everyday detoxification process. So the mighty liver. Now, let me find out where my notes are on that. I have some really cool stuff to share with you guys about that, and I don't think my printer printed off. So, the mighty liver, I think most people underestimate the power of the liver. And so a lot of people will say, well, I don't drink alcohol, so my liver's fine. And what we're finding is that a lot of the most common problems people have, like low vitamin D or low hormones or gallbladder and digestive issues, all go back to the liver. And the liver, contrary to what we hear and believe, it doesn't like take in toxins. It helps our body eliminate those. So the liver is an essential organ located above the stomach and next to the gallbladder. And it has over 500 jobs. So I'm going to turn my computer sound down so you guys don't have to hear every time I get an alert. Healing in any form is contingent on the state of the liver health. In fact, one of my favorite natural cancer healing protocols, the Gerson therapy, what they say in that is that if their liver isn't working properly, their chances of healing are much, much smaller. So healing is completely contingent on the state of the liver. So we can do some things to make sure that our liver is supported. Part of the liver's jobs include detoxifying the everyday toxins we're exposed to. And it does this in two main phases. So I don't think I have a slide for that. In phase 1 liver detox, so there's phase 1 liver detox and phase 2 liver detox. In phase 1, the liver breaks down toxins into intermediates that are dealt with in phase 2. So for the body to be able to eliminate toxins, it first has to break them down into something that the body can eliminate. And so that's what happens in phase 2, or in phase 1. In phase 2, they're neutralized and excreted. So, let me give you an example. If you have consumed caffeine later in the day and it really messed with your ability to sleep, that means that you have a phase 1 that's impaired. Because what's happening is that means that your phase 1 liver detox is having a hard time breaking down the caffeine. So that's a good sign that your phase 1 liver detox process needs to be supported. If, on the other hand, you can drink a whole bunch of it and it doesn't keep you awake, that means your phase 1 is overactive. And there are other reasons why that would happen, but that's just to say that the liver detoxification process needs to be supported if that's the case as well. So if your body has a hard time breaking down things at all, if you notice that you're more sensitive to things, or things tend to stay in your system longer, that usually means that your phase 1 liver detox is impaired. And I'm going to flip my screen around and show you some of the best things to support your phase 1 liver detox. So here are some of my favorite things. Right here we have a B complex. This is my favorite B vitamin complex. It's called Super B from Young Living. I take this every single day. It's just been amazing. But B vitamins are among the most essential for supporting the phase 1 liver detox. We also need antioxidants to support the phase 1 liver detox. And I have not found a better dietary source of antioxidants as I have with this. It's a red drink called Ningxia Red. And so we drink that every day. The antioxidant content is off the charts, especially compared to other things. And so we really like that. And it's just like a dietary supplement. You only need to drink a little bit every day. It's not like a juice where you just drink it by the glass, because it is a liquid supplement. And then vitamin C and vitamin D, as well as some other nutrients, these are the main winners in the phase 1 liver detox. So we've got B vitamins, antioxidants, vitamin C, and this is minerals, calcium, and also vitamin D. So those are what we want to support the phase 1 liver detox. So you know, in the beginning, we talked about how very few people have enough of or get in enough nutrients to support the body's natural detoxification process. And that's because the liver detoxification process, both phases, is highly dependent on having the right nutrients. And so most people are incredibly deficient in every single one of those nutrients that I showed you, and then the ones that I'll show you for phase 2 liver detox. And that's why, you know, our livers are overwhelmed, and that's why we have things that are showing that our liver is not functioning right. So we also have phase 2 liver detox. So phase 2 is known as the conjunction pathway. This stage converts the fat soluble toxins into water soluble toxins that are less harmful and can be passed out through bile or urine. So think of phase 1 as like the breakdown stage, and the phase 2 is like the build-up stage. It has to break stuff down first, and then it builds it up into something that our bodies can do something right with. So if you have, if you're more prone to detox reactions when you're doing like a cleanse or something like that, or anything, even just little things, that usually means your phase 2 is impaired. If you have multiple chemical sensitivities, like if you smell fragrance or things in the air like that, and you really just have a really bad reaction to them all of the time, that means that your phase 2 is impaired. And so what that means is that your phase 1 was probably doing its job, breaking the things down, but then your phase 2 is really having a hard time neutralizing them and eliminating them. So I'm going to share with you some of my favorite things for helping support the phase 2. Oh, a couple other things. Allergies are also a sign of an impaired phase 2, as well as inflammatory skin. So if you've got a lot of skin issues, and fatigue. And if you remember on the body clock when we talked about the liver showing up between 1 and 3 a.m., that is also a sign of an impaired phase 2 detox. So let's talk about the nutrients that you need to support a phase 2. Do you like my bulletin board and stuff? All right. So, nope, I got ahead of myself. Okay. So for phase 2, let me just make sure we can see this. It's a little bit hard to see. I'm sorry. So, phase 2, this is called AminoWise. It's an amino acid supplement. So amino acids are really beneficial for a phase 2 liver detox. So are citrus essential oils. So that's where this is a lemon vitality oil. This is a dietary supplement essential oil, and this is a powerful thing for supporting the body's phase 2 liver detox. Minerals are crucial for the phase 2 liver detox. So in phase 1, we talked about calcium and vitamin D. And in phase 2, it's more the well-rounded source of minerals that are needed for phase 2. And so you guys might have heard me talk about mineral essence. I don't go anywhere without that supplement. It is hands down the best mineral supplement I have ever found, and I have looked for 10 years. So, and then another thing that's really, really great for phase 2 liver detox is, if you've ever heard of MSM, it's short for methylsulfonate. You know, it's this big long word, and it's most people think of sulfur when they hear about it. It's not sulfa. Like, people are like, well, I'm allergic to sulfa drugs. It's not sulfa, and it's not sulfates. Like, I wish I had my book here, but I don't. Like the thing that's used for, you know, wine or balsamic vinegar and stuff like that. The short name for MSM that we're talking about is sulfur. And this is a dietary mineral that our body, it's like one of the top minerals in our body. Our body can't live without it. Our body has it naturally, but it usually doesn't have enough to do what we need it to do nowadays. And so it's not possible to be allergic to it. Some people say that they respond or react badly to it, and that just means that their phase 2 is, or their phase 1 sometimes, is having a hard time. And it's really, most times when we have people saying they have a reaction to something that their body needs, we're like, you know, you just don't do that one then. But in this case, this is one of those things that if you are having some sort of reaction, noticeable reaction to it, it means your body really does need it. You just need to take it low and slow. The problem that I want to make sure you know is that with any MSM supplement, it's really hard to get it to be absorbed into the body in supplement form. It's kind of a finicky thing where it's hard to make sure it's in a form that our body's actually going to absorb. So there are a lot of MSM supplements out there, and not many of them are actually doing much because it just tends to have a really low bioavailability. And so the one that I use is Sulfurzyme from Young Living. They come in capsules and a powder. I personally love the powder. It has stevia, and both the capsules and the powder have wolfberry powder added to them. And because wolfberries are so high in antioxidants, the pair with the MSM really, really helps our bodies absorb it so much better. So that's why I choose to use that one. There isn't really any other ones at all that take that pair of the wolfberry and the MSM together to really make sure that our body's absorbing it. So it's really awesome. So we talked about phase 1, we talked about phase 2. At this point, if you're like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not doing any of those supplements or anything like that, that's okay. What I want to reiterate is just one step at a time. So go back to supporting the bowels first if you need to. This is where everybody should start. If you're overwhelmed, start here. Do not move on until you've started here, okay? And then, these are just as needed. And then when you feel ready to move on, making sure you're doing this. When you're ready to really give your body some more support, and you can target it. If you can say, it sounds like I really need more help in this phase or in this phase, then really focus on those first, and just do what you can in those. Every little bit is going to help. If you want to just hit it hard and support both stages, we talked about digestive enzyme supplements. This is one of my favorite. Now, this is called Essential Zymes 4. This is a completely really well-rounded digestive enzyme supplement. And this is another one that I don't leave home without. I actually keep some of these. They come in like little foil packs. I keep these in my purse, and I take them with any meal that I'm eating when I'm out and about, especially because out and about meals, even though I make healthy choices, don't always support a healthy gut. So I always have those with me. And then these are my two favorite overall strong, powerful, but not going to cause detox issues or cleanse effects from taking them usually is Juva Cleanse Vitality. So this is a Vitality, which means it's a dietary supplement oil. It's called Juva Cleanse, and it's a combination of 3 dietary essential oils that have really profound effects on supporting the liver and helping the liver just be healthy the way that it needs to be. So for me personally, I will tell you that this is Juvatone. This is a supplement that has some really good herbs and plant extracts and things in it for supporting healthy liver health and function. And so for me personally, I will take this not every single day, but just sometimes on a consistent basis. And then with this, what I will do with the Juva Cleanse is every 6 weeks or so, I will take that in a capsule for about a week, and just to give my liver that extra support that it needs. So I think that's it. So the goal here is really just to support our body's natural process. What this does is it's called homeostasis. Our body is always trying to maintain homeostasis, which is balance. It's our home state. And so the things that we do to support our body in working towards homeostasis are really going to be powerful, and they're really the first step towards health, more so than cleanses and things like that. Now, I love cleanses, and I think they're very valuable, and they have their place. And sometimes people might need them first if they have a health situation that really needs something to happen and change fast. And that's where that book that I told you comes in handy. And I'm I do have it here. So let me show you that book really quick. I did post it in the comments of one of the other videos before I got cut off. So let me flip this around here. I think it's backwards. So there we go. That was trippy. So this book goes into cleanses and things like that. So if you're ready to move into cleanses, let me just give you a little bit of the chapters. There's a chapter for the colon, a chapter on gut bacteria, a chapter on kidney, yeast, liver, metals, organs, colon and lungs, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, infertility, and sex hormones, cleansing and nutrition for prospective mothers, children. There's one for children specifically, one for diabetes, obesity, allergies, things like that. So this is your book for those kinds of things. And so that's a totally separate topic. Just to kind of distinguish between the two, tonight we talked about just really supporting the body's natural detoxification process and all that we can do to really just make sure that we're helping our body eliminate toxins as they come in. So if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. If you have questions on how to get those products and you're not sure, talk to the person who invited you. If it was me, talk to me. If it was somebody else, talk to them, and they will know. See, what I've done is I've really work to empower people and educate people to help people, and we have a lot of really amazing people, some that are watching this right now, some that maybe invited you to this group, that really do know their stuff. And so go to them, ask them the questions. They know that if they don't have the answers to that, they can come to me, and if I don't, we will find them for you. So we just want to teach you guys how to educate yourselves and empower yourselves and keep healthy. So talk to the person if you have any questions that invited you, or whoever that might be, and let us know how we can help you on this journey. I hope that was helpful, and thank you for hanging in there with me through all of the video fails and Facebook hate. We did it. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.